Welcome to another edition of Smalltalk for you. This morning I thought I'd go through kind of an interesting, simple example of writing a utility in Smalltalk, something that doesn't exist in the Smalltalk language, but as you normally see with things like Boolean expressions, is built into the library, and that's a case statement. Now, of course, there is no case statement in Smalltalk, but a lot of people like to code with them. A lot of people say, well, why isn't there one? And while you don't typically need one in Smalltalk, it's nice to kind of look at an example to see how it would be done. So here I've created a simple class called case statement. I've added cases, which will be a dictionary, and default case, which will be the default case if everything falls through. Now, how do I work with that? Well, let's go to the method source, and you see I've got an add all and a default, so you can pass a default to it, and add all will just do the same thing but hand a simple default to it. And then if you come over here to the instance side and take a look at how this all works, we just go through and ask, is this thing that's being passed in a dictionary? If it is, we grab the associations from it. Otherwise, we just assume it's a collection of associations, or collection really of key value pairs, and then we just iterate through and add those cases. Now there's a little bit of complexity in add case because I wanted to make sure that the keys were unique, so I look to see if it's a string. If it is, I convert it into a symbol. If it is not a string, then I just assume, well, that's unique enough, and I throw it in there as the key. So cases at key put the association value, so that'll give you the thing in there. And then over here we have remove case, and this actually should be fixed, so this should that should have the same kind of code. I didn't put that in. I'll fix that before I post the code to my server, but this should do the same kind of lookup cleanup on the key as the other code did, so I'll fix that up before I post it. The most important thing though is execution, case app. So here we have the key. Again, check to see if it's a string, get the symbol or the key name, and then cases at key if absent self default case. So we just get the value. So the value is either going to be the thing we stored or the default case. And then if it's the default case or the thing, we either way send value to it. And again, this assumes that it responds to value protocol, so it's making that assumption. One could argue that I ought to have some kind of exception in here, but I would just let the default one fly up. If it didn't respond to value, just like any other thing that doesn't respond to value, I'll just let it blow up. And that's really all there is to building a case statement in Smalltalk. Not a whole lot of complexity here. One thing that I have to clean up again over here is the removing code. So if I go over here to remove case, you see I have to do some cleanup on that before I post this to my server. But that's about it. Now next time what we'll do is we'll go through using this with a few examples and see how it all works out. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.